What's going on, guys? Asian Guy here, bringing you a pretty important video. Somewhat related to Genshin, somewhat related to Twitch. I'm sure you guys have seen there has been a massive data breach or a leak in how much people have been earning on Twitch, etc., etc. And of course, everyone is being scrutinized. Everyone's come under public scrutiny. Whether or not you want to keep your earnings confidential or not is really up to you. As you guys can see, I have my sub count. I've had my sub count up there for quite a while now. So for those of you who don't know what the scammers thing is, that's my sub count. And typically, well, you used to be able to just multiply this by $2.50 to try and work it out. But because of regional pricing, it's not necessarily $2.50 anymore. For example, if you buy a sub from, let's say, somewhere in Asia, it's probably going to cost like $1 or $2 versus $5 if you buy it in the UK or if you buy it in the United States. Actually, I think UK is slightly more expensive as well. So it really depends where you're paying from. However, the maximum I can get from a sub on Twitch is $2.50. Now, there has been a lot of talk going around, especially amongst Genshin content creators and the communities about, oh, Genshin content creators are super rich. And I can understand why there is that conception and why people think that. But I want to give you guys, for those of you who are willing to listen or hear me out, a very, very important lesson and understanding, and more so an example of myself here in why that isn't necessarily the case. Because the problem with just labeling everyone as rich is there's unfortunately a stigma attached to that, right? A lot of people will try and criticize you, or they'll be like, oh, you don't understand us because of our wealth differences. And this is something I really, really want to emphasize, is the importance of disposable income and what that actually means. So if we go on to the second monitor, we will see, first of all, these earnings here. Obviously, there are obviously some super rich streamers who make a lot of money. This is only over 2 years, by the way, the previous 2 years. If we go to my one, I have made $77,000, 421 and 7 cents. Wait, $77,421.07 is what I have made in the last 2 years, supposedly. And I see already people are going like, sheesh. Right? I see already a lot of people are going like, sheesh. But the thing is, right, guys, this, okay, is over 2 years. In this year alone, I've probably spent over $20,000 on Genshin Impact. So you take away $20,000, it's probably a little bit more than that now, but we're down to $57,000. You now divide that in two, we're at what? $28,500 per year, which is probably slightly, I don't know what that is in America, whether that's an above average wage, or I think it's around an average wage for someone that's been working for several years. And depending on your work hours, it's probably different. This is, I would say, closer to minimum wage, considering the amount of hours I put into streaming. And then, on top of that, guys, we have something unfortunately called bills and taxes. So for those of you who don't know, or you don't have to pay your bills or taxes, right, I have something called rent that I have to pay. So, for example, imagine someone is making $150,000 in Silicon Valley, which is one of the wealthy areas. It's the high-tech dev industry in America, in San Francisco, I believe. Rent there is extremely expensive. So if you're making $150,000 from your job and then $100,000 is spent on rent, while you might be making a lot, you're not actually taking home that much money. And then on top of that, you're going to have a higher tax rate on you as well. And for those of you who don't know how tax works in the UK, it goes from, I believe, somewhere around 28% to 35%, something like that, to 40% to 45%. So for the people in the very highest tax bracket, you lose 45% of your income to the government after a certain threshold. So unfortunately, where is my $77,000? Now, for those of you who don't know as well, Twitch actually take half of this revenue. So essentially what I made was $154,000 for Twitch in the last 2 years. 6 digits. That's mind-blowing money for me. Now, Twitch has taken half of that. Okay, I've lost a lot of that to rent. A lot of that I spent on Genshin as a business expense, and also just because I want to spend on Genshin. And whatever other gacha games. I've just done a Pokemon box opening as well. This can technically be a business expense. A business expense is something I could deduct away from my taxes so that I don't have to pay taxes on it. But having said that, I've already spent the money, so the money's gone anyway. So you might see this number, guys, and you'll be like, wow, he's so rich. Or another example I'll show you guys is Fob. Fob, $70,000 off Twitch. His PayPal has a negative balance because he keeps spending it. He has rent to pay. He has bills to pay. So just because you're earning a lot does not actually make you wealthy. It really depends where you live. I am living in London. For those of you, you probably already know that London is one of the most expensive places to live. The city is the place to be for me and Neko right now, especially as a content creator. London is a great place to be as well. But these kind of things, I feel like people look at the face value of the number and they're like, wow, they're like, sheesh, you make so much money. They forget, one, this is over 2 years. So if you divide this in two, suddenly it's actually not a lot of money. And then when you put in taxes and you put in bills, utility bills, you put in rent, it's actually not a lot of money. Because you end up losing most of it to either the government, to bills, or whatever. And then you have a little bit of disposable income. And I've already, unfortunately, the reason why I'm addressing this, guys, is because yesterday I had, unfortunately, received a lot of private messages saying I'm rich or eat the rich or asking me to buy them primo gems. I had some people sending requests to my PayPal demanding I give them money. And I just want to make it very clear, guys, I'm not actually rich. Right? I've been in this streaming industry and content creation for around 10 years. And it's only this year that I've actually made a significant amount of money compared to what I used to earn. And if you go back to my old YouTube channel, guys, I used to live on around maybe $300 to $500 a month in terms of paying bills and food. And the most important thing, or not the most important thing, the most meme-tastic thing back then was I used to just eat bread and salami. And I think even back in the early days of Genshin, that's basically what I used to eat. And I would skip, buying stuff like orange juice and just have tap water instead to save money. That's changed now. And it's thanks to you guys, and it's thanks to Genshin Impact, and it's thanks to the wonderful community that we have right now. But I want to make it very clear, guys, that as an adult, I have bills to pay. As someone who wants to one day become a father, I need to save up money so that I have money for my children. And this is all money that I don't get to splash out. This is all money I have to save up, and it's actually nowhere near the amount I wish that I could keep because of, one, again, taxes, because of, again, fees that I have to pay. And of course, I forgot to mention this, because I'm being paid in dollars, guys, I also get shafted on currency conversion. So unfortunately, if I lived in America, this would be more valuable money to me. But because of the currency conversion, I also get shafted on that as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I have to keep in mind. And this is why I've also had this problem with a bit of burnout. Because I hate having to think about content creation like a job. I hate having to worry about money, right? I hate that. I used to be much happier. Well, I wouldn't say I was happier, but I used to be fine and happy when I was just eating bread and salami every single day as my meal, or just rice with like olives, or rice with chicken. I still eat rice with chicken, basically, cheap meals. But if it tastes nice, it tastes nice. I used to be fine with that. But then, after I started earning more money, and it could actually become a financially sustainable job and give me a little bit more security, now I have to care. Because now I have a responsibility to my wife, Neko. I have a responsibility to if we have any future children. And the most important thing for me is I want to make sure that I get to a place where I can purchase a home. And when I purchase a home, I don't have to pay rent anymore. If I have a home and I don't have to pay mortgage fees on it or anything, and that home belongs to me, then Neko and I can stay there for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, however long is necessary, and we will always have that safe space to call our own. And I don't have to worry about how much I'm earning. But because Genshin is a ticking time bomb, because content creation is a ticking time bomb, I know I will not have the same relevancy I have today in like 5 or 10 years' time. I will not be earning anywhere near as much money as I'm earning in 10 or 5 years' time. That's my personal prediction. And I need to make sure I can make the most I can in that short space of time. But that unfortunately compromises my mental well-being and my happiness. If I'm doing stuff that I'm not enjoying, then I don't want to do it. I'm very spoiled like that. I'm very, very open about that. If I don't like it, guys, I don't do it. That's why I don't take sponsorships like Raid Shadow Legends. They might want to pay me anywhere up from $5,000 plus for a 2-hour stream. And some people will be like, you're insane for turning down 2 hours of playing just the game to get $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Other streamers will also be offered like $10,000 to $99,000. Some people probably have 6-digit offers. And all they have to do is play it for 2 hours. But there's a certain degree where different individuals will have different understandings or how they perceive money and how they, how the integrity, how much are they willing to give up of their own happiness, of their own self-respect? Because everyone has a price, guys. I have a price as well. If Raid Shadow Legends offer me $100,000, I'll take it, guys. I'll take it, and I feel like a lot of people will be happy for me to take that. But obviously, they're not going to offer me that much because it's not worth it. I'm not going to make them $100,000, so they're losing out on money. There's literally no point in them paying me that much. And this is where I want people to understand that not everyone, and I'll go back to mine here, not everyone, just because you see this number, guys, you need to understand the nuance behind it. Some people might be wealthier than others. This doesn't even encompass stuff like sponsorships I've taken. This doesn't encompass YouTube revenue. It doesn't encompass everything. This is subs and bit donations and also ad revenue, I believe. But unfortunately, I wish I was rich, guys. It would give me it would allow me to get rid of a lot of the problems and mental stresses that I do have, which is working towards a home and a family life with Neko. So for the people who keep asking me for money, who keep calling me rich, I just want you guys to know that, first of all, I worked to get to this position. Second of all, this is still not the position that I want to be in. I don't feel like I have financial security. I personally don't feel like I have financial sustainability right now because, as you guys have seen, if you're on the stream right now, I've taken a break from streaming. Today I came back to stream again, Pokemon box opening, because I don't want to play Genshin. Genshin right now does not make me happy right now. We have a patch that's incoming, which is 2 rerun banners, some rehashed events, which are basically skinned events. We've basically done these events already. It just looks a little bit different and plays a tiny bit different. That doesn't excite me. And if I can't be excited about what I'm doing, I can't make content on that. It would just be very, very, very fake. And for me, I cannot put out a video that I would not personally remotely enjoy watching myself. So unfortunately, again, there's some people who are calling me rich or who are saying that I'm entitled or that I do nothing and I get money for it. And on the worst case scenario, there are people who are just begging me for money. There are people who are asking or demanding that I give them money because I've been blessed to be in this position and they have not been blessed to be in this position. And this is just kind of mind-blowing to me, is that everyone has to work for their next paycheck. I don't feel like there's many people, unless you're extremely lucky or you're born into wealth. Unless you're born into extreme wealth, everyone has to work hard for their money. Now, there's someone in the chat right now who's memeing right now. He can never take anything seriously. His name is Bateson87. He has been one of my longtime friends ever since the very beginning of FIFA. So he knows me quite well. Bateson is one of my besties. He is a FIFA content creator. For those of you who know, I come from the FIFA background. I had a FIFA YouTube channel before I went to university. And this was about just before FIFA was about to explode. And not even FIFA, YouTube was about to explode. And I had to give up on YouTube. So then, however many years later, I'm finally back, and I didn't give up on my dream. I always wanted, when I first discovered YouTube, I always wanted to do YouTube or streaming. But obviously back then, my parents were like, no chance. You're going to get a normal job, be a good Asian boy, and get like a proper job in the financial sector, in the engineering sector, in the medical field, whatever. But I didn't give up. I didn't want to give up on my dream. So after I graduated, I went straight back into content creation. And that's where it was very, very rough, guys. I was making hardly any money whatsoever. I was living on, again, bread. And I was okay with that because I was still doing what makes me happy. I still had a good time. I enjoyed the community and the people that I found. And I got very lucky, guys. Honestly, with Genshin Impact, I joined the hype train of Genshin very, very late. Because I wasn't there at the very beginning, where people were like Googling tier list or how to do this and that. I was watching those. I was one of the people watching those videos, not actually understanding how to play Genshin. Even though I was a gacha gamer, it didn't actually occur to me that it was a gacha game. And I wasn't able to capitalize on that. So I'm very lucky that I'm still in the position I am today. And I have so many wonderful people that watch my content, that are just here to hang out and chill. And I know a lot of people have been demanding that I do more giveaways. What I want to make crystal clear, guys, is that when I do giveaways, I'm not going to publicly announce to the world I'm doing a giveaway. Why? Because I do not want to give something away to someone that just watches my content to win something. I don't want to build a community of people that are here for giveaways. Entitled little brats and children, absolutely no chance. If I do a giveaway, guys, it will be something in secret, and it will be something in a spur of the moment thing. So someone who has actually been a part of my community for a long time can actually win something. I'm not going to announce it. I'm not going to do something like YouTube giveaways ever. If you're watching this on YouTube, I apologize, but I will never do a YouTube giveaway because there's so many people who literally just YouTube search giveaway. There are even bots that look for giveaways just so they can enter into giveaways. And it's just very, very fraudulent for me. It's just very, it's like, I want the winner to be someone that cares. I want to be caring of someone who is the winner as well. It's a two-way thing. And I have done giveaways in the past. I don't like talking about giveaways because it's a lose-lose situation, right? You talk about giveaways and say, I've done giveaways, then there'll be people like, oh, I didn't win your giveaway. When do I get to win your giveaway? Giveaway frogs. Then you have people who are like, oh, look at him. He's trying to big himself up because he's talking about giveaways. So whatever you do, it's a lose-lose situation. If I don't talk about giveaways, there'll be people who'll be like, oh, look at this entitled Asian man keeping all the money to himself. I watch his videos. I watch his content. I'm entitled to a giveaway. So if I don't do giveaways, there's also those people. So unfortunately, we have some stinky people in the world, but I want to make it very clear what my stance on all of that is. I know a lot of content creators have recommended I do giveaways because it helps you grow your channel. But again, I feel like I've done a really, really good job of creating a really wonderful community, again, of you guys watching here as well, because I haven't done giveaways. We are not attracting the wrong kind of people to this community. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys some more insight on Twitch payouts. I'm definitely not poor anymore, but I would not say that I'm necessarily rich. My income right now is, I would say I'm pretty happy with it. It's going to be terrible for October, though, guys, because I won't lie to you. I'm not very interested in making Genshin Impact content. When the views go down, the ad revenue goes down. When I stop streaming for 3 days in a row, I also end up losing a lot of money. But ultimately, guys, I don't feel like... I've come to the decision now where I feel like it's not worth compromising my overall mental stability and happiness just to grab the bag, just to get that, extra however many $1,000, right? Because it is at the end of the day, I make thousands of dollars per month. Not $10,000, it's less than that. But if I can make, let's say 4K a month, and a lot of people will be worried about me talking about specific numbers because it will put people under scrutiny. But if I can make 4K, 5K a month, which... that would be my baseline of, okay, this is somewhat sustainable. It's not ideal because rent in London, of course, is very expensive. And $5,000 obviously is actually a lot less in UK pounds. It's around 3,000 something. But if I can still make that much, I can slowly build up my wealth so that I can one day use it to buy a home. That is the ideal. The one thing that is the issue, though, is that the further we put it off, the more dangerous it is to have children. Right? The further Neko and I get older, the harder it's going to be to have kids, which is why I'm always in two minds of, oh, do I want to work harder for money, or do I want to take it a little bit easier for my own mental well-being? And this is why it's difficult. And that's why when people are like, take your time, it's just like the people who say take your time, I understand they come from a good place, but it just really shows they don't understand the difficulty of being in a situation like this where you don't know the very next day, any kind of sustainability you have could just disappear out of the window. Because content creation is volatile, because it's at the scrutiny and at the mercy of the people who watch you, I don't have a boss. I am my own boss, but essentially my boss is also my audience. The people who pay me are the people who watch me. And if I don't have anyone that watches me, and one day that disappears because I stop doing Genshin and I start doing other stuff like this, talking about this kind of stuff, start opening Pokemon cards instead, start doing stuff that I care about way more than Genshin. And because people are subscribed for Genshin, they only watch me for Genshin, then that's going to put me in a very difficult position. So this is something I just wanted to explain. The money side of content creation, I feel like a lot of people don't understand. First of all, the very basics of how income and disposable income works. Again, if you earn 100K and then you pay 80K in rent, hopefully you're not paying 80K in rent. But hypothetically speaking, if you have bills and you have whatever other fees on top of rent and taxes that end up totaling to 60, 70, 80K, you're not actually taking that much money back from your initial salary. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. That is me just being very brutally transparent because I feel like a lot of people just don't get it. This is a very important life lesson that you will not learn in school, guys. You unfortunately not learn about taxes in school. And I wonder to myself, is it because they want people to get shafted by taxes, or they don't want people to know how stinky taxes really are? But yeah, thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful day. That's been part of why I've been struggling with Genshin recently. The mental versus the financial stability is always going to be a difficult thing to balance. And yeah, thank you for watching and bye-bye.